What's up, Nova Nation? Welcome to another episode of Top 25. My name is Pat Ralph.
And I'm Larry Flynn.
So today, the rankings once again came out, and the top 8 did not change at all. Villanova stayed at number 6 after 2 big wins. But even though they stayed at number 6, Larry, I think we can agree this was probably the most impressive week of the Wildcats season so far.
Absolutely. 2 huge wins for your number 6 Wildcats. The first one came at Providence, one of the tougher arenas to play in the country. And then they traveled to Butler all the way in Indiana, pull out another win there. Darren Hilliard was the guy in the Butler game, and Ochefu was 7 for 7 from the field for a total of 19 points, 9 rebounds against Providence.
Exactly. And 2 huge road wins, especially in conference, plays such a huge difference going down the stretch of the season. And it really speaks to what really has made this team so impressive this year has been their mental toughness. You know, Providence, they had that lead. Providence made a late rally there in a hostile environment, were able to come away with the win. And then, of course, against Butler, one of the toughest places to play in the country. I believe going into the game, Butler only lost once already at home. And going into that game against a great defensive team, pulled out a really tough, hard-fought win against a team that we're going to see not only just in New York, but definitely is going to make a run, I think, in the tournament.
Absolutely. Butler is a very, very elite team, not only in the conference, but in the entire NCAA. Those guys have a lot of talent, but are really a very disciplined team, I think, and that's what makes them so special. So for Villanova to go in there and beat Butler is probably the most impressive win of the season thus far.
Exactly. And I think it really plays, with getting these 2 big road wins, really helps going forward this week. Obviously, we play tonight against Seton Hall at home here at the Pavilion. And then Saturday, we go to Milwaukee to play against Marquette in 2 rematches from earlier this season. Obviously, the Seton Hall game this season earlier did not go according to plan. Lost a tough overtime one. It was a game where Villanova turned the ball over way too much. And Seton Hall, and they just could not make any free throws down the stretch against Seton Hall. As for Marquette, that was a game Villanova won pretty easily earlier this year at Wells Fargo behind a great defensive performance and a game where they held, I think, Marquette to around 35% from the field. Of course, Seton Hall, Larry, the wheels have really come off the train in that situation, really divided locker room. This week, especially with Marquette that's been struggling as well, I think we should get 2 wins, hopefully, you know?
Absolutely. These should be 2 wins for Villanova, but Seton Hall is a team that you'll want to watch out for. They still have the talent despite all the locker room issues. Obviously, Isaiah Whitehead is one of the most highly recruited players in the Big East Conference, basically the top freshman in the conference thus far this season. So he can get it going whenever, and obviously Sterling Gibbs, a guy who has hit game winners against Villanova in the past, is another guy you'll want to watch out for. So Seton Hall is a very formidable opponent. As for Marquette, they're in a bit of a rebuilding phase. But getting Luke Fisher about midway through the season has been a huge pickup for them. So 2 games, that Villanova should win, but there's no easy wins in the Big East. So they're going to have to earn both of those wins this upcoming week.
Exactly. Seton Hall's playing with a chip on their shoulder. They know their tournament hopes are on the line here. They're going to come out ready to play tonight if they want to make the tournament. And they know if they could get another win here tonight against Seton Hall, it could really be formidable and really help their chances in helping their tournament resume. And even though Marquette may be struggling this year, the Bradley Center has never been an easy place for Villanova to play at. Last year was a tough overtime game against Marquette. We've never really won a lot up there in Milwaukee, and I know early this season Georgetown got pushed around in overtime against them as well up there. So it will not be an easy contest on Saturday for the Wildcats, nor will tonight be necessarily the most easiest. And going forward, really to New York, especially after getting that Butler win, Villanova's really set their chances of getting the top seed in New York for the Big East tournament up very well. Now they have a 2-game lead in the conference and holding that season series advantage over Butler.
Exactly, yeah. And I would expect Villanova to go in with the top seed, of course, but also to win the Big East tournament at this point. They have taken care of business in the Big East. Their only 2 losses have come in the Big East, obviously against Georgetown. That was a very tough loss, but they were able to redeem themselves at home at the Wells Fargo Center. So getting that win, I think, is huge for their confidence. I think there's no team at this point that Villanova can't beat.
Exactly, and I think it's so important. You look forward to what could be going on after the Big East tournament and what could mean for the actual NCAA tournament. Right now it seems like, I think if you read any of Joel Lunardi's stuff or any bracketology stuff, it seems like Villanova seems to be projected as a number 2 seed by most. Looks like Kentucky, Virginia seem to be the clear-on favorites to be number 1 seeds, along with most likely Duke and Gonzaga. But I think we could agree, Larry, that if Villanova was able to win the Big East tournament and maybe get a little help from some of these other opponents that are ahead of them right now, there could be a chance at a number 1 seed.
Absolutely. I think, honestly, the resume of Villanova has been more impressive than that of Duke thus far this season. Duke obviously has the huge brand name, so I think they get a lot of credit there. But Duke is a very talented team, but keep in mind the ACC has a lot of very good teams at the top. If Duke wins the ACC, I'm pretty sure there's no way that they could fall below a 1. But if Duke were to lose maybe in the first or second round of the ACC tournament, all of a sudden you're looking at an open number 1 seed. And I think if Villanova goes all the way or maybe even just to the championship game and loses to a Butler or Providence or Georgetown, I think that Villanova could end up snagging that number 1 seed.
Exactly. And it'll be really interesting to see what happens this week for Villanova against Seton Hall and Marquette, as well as next week when they take on Xavier, St. John's, and Creighton, and they finish this regular season hopefully on a positive note here and head into the Big East tournament with some momentum and hopefully win the Big East tournament title in New York. So for Top 25 today, here's Larry Flynn. I'm Pat Ralph. Thanks for watching, Nova Nation. Take care.